Ravanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janavalabha Girivardhari. Yashodadandana Bhajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Bhajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Bhajajana Ranjana. Jamunatira Vanachari. Jamunatira Vanachari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gariba, Hariba, Hariba, Bala Hariba. Jaya Vishnu Paramahamsa. Parivrajacharya, Astotha Satatsi Srimad, the Divine Grace, his Acharya. Srila Abhachan Avenda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya. Astotha Satatsi Srimad, the Divine Grace, the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavenda Ki Jai. Namacharya Sri Haridasa Koti Ki Jai. Prem Se Kahao Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Se Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Se Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Sisi Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Semakunda Radha Kunda Girivardhan Ki Jai. Shavindavana Dham Ki Jai. Mathura Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Mayapur Ki Jai. Jagannath Dham Ki Jai. Gangamaya Yamunamaya Ki Jai. Srimati Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samavega Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari. Our glories to the Samu devotees, our glories to the Samu devotees, our glories to the Samu devotees, our glories to Sisi Gauranga. So, welcome to this morning Bhagavatam class. What is today's text? What's on about? 30 and 31. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottam Devim Saraswati Vyatsa Tato Jaya Mudirayat Nasta Prayesa Bhadesu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavaitina Isake. Yovai Twaya Dinava Kritva Uddata Chakra Bhagno Mride Kalu Bhavatam Ananta Virya Jitwari Loke Nirata Sakriduda Dapo Yusmat Praja Rujatino Jitata Videhi Yove Twayadrinavat Kritva Dudata Chakra Bhagno Ride Kalu Bhavatam Ananta Virya Jitwari Loke Jetwari Lokaniranta, Sakrit Udadapo. Yusman Prajarup Rujatino Jitata Videhi. Can someone try? Yaha, who, be, indeed, twaya, by you, dwe, twice, mava, 9, kritvaha, times, udata, upraised, chakra, O you whose disc, weapon, bagnaha, crushed, Ride in battle, Kalu, surely, Bhavatam, you, Ananta, unlimited, Viryam, whose power, Jitva, defeating, Riloka, in human affairs, Niratam, absorbed, Sakrit, only once, Uda, inflated, Dapaha, whose pride, Yusmat, your, Prajaha, subjects, Rajati, torments, Naha, us, Ajita, O unconquerable one, Tat, that, Videhi, please rectify. Translation and purport by Divine Grace is Compound Charles, Bhakti Swami, Prabhupada Kija, Srila Prabhupada Kija. O wielder of the disc, your strength is unlimited. And those 17 times, you crushed Jarasandha in battle. But then, absorbed in human affairs, you allowed him to defeat you once. Now he is filled with pride that he dares to torment us, your subjects. Oh, unconquerable one, please rectify this situation. Please kindly respond and repeat. O wielder of the disc, your strength is unlimited. And thus 17 times you crushed Jarasandha in battle. But then, absorbed in human affairs, you allowed him to defeat you once. Now he is so filled with pride that he dares to torment us, your subjects. O unconquerable one, please rectify this situation. Purport. The word Riloka Niratam indicates that the Lord was absorbed in playing within the world of human beings. Thus, while acting like a human king, he allowed Jarasandha to be victorious in a single battle after the Lord had crushed him 17 times. The kings here imply that Jarasandha is especially harassing them because they are souls surrendered unto Lord Krishna. Therefore, they begged the Lord, quote, O you who hold the chakra weapon high, please make the proper arrangements, unquote. Srila Prabhupada expresses, Srila Prabhupada expresses the king's feelings as follows. My dear Lord, you have already fought with Jarasandha 18 times consecutively, out of which you have defeated him 17 times by suppressing his extraordinary powerful position. But in your 18th fight, you exhibited your human behavior, and thus it appeared that you were defeated. My dear Lord, we know very well that Jarasandha cannot defeat you at any time. No one can equal you or surpass you. The appearance of defeat by Jarasandha in the 18th engagement is nothing but an exhibition of human behavior. Unfortunately, foolish Jarasandha could not understand your tricks, and he has since then become puffed up over his material power and prestige. Specifically, he has arrested us and imprisoned us, knowing fully well that as your devotees, we are subordinate to your sovereignty. Amagana Timiranda Syag Injalam Salankaya Saksur Militam Yena Tasmai Se Gurave Maha Suchetayam Manovistam Savyetam Inbhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamaya Tadadisva Padantakam Vandiham Si Guru Si Utapada Kamalam Si Utapada Kamalam Si Guru Vaishnavamcha Si Rupa Sagrajatam Saha Ganaragnatam Vitam Tam Sachiva Sadveta Sarvaduta Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Sri Radha Krishna Pada Saha Ganaladita Vishakam Vitamcha E Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dena Bandhu Jagapate Gopesha Gopakanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Panamami Hari Bande Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodita Gurudaya Puspavanto Chita Chanda Tamo Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadara Sri Vasada Sagora Bhakti Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Pada Krishna Vishta Bhuta Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityananda Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Picharani Nindasesa Satyadisatana Panchakalpataribhyacha Kripasamvyayavacha Pritana Pavini Vaishnavi. So, in the purport here, the commentators who are disciples of Prabhupada, they had made it very clear, very insightfully, that the Lord was playing, because in the main text also it's categorically mentioned, the Lord was involved in some theatrical performance. It was, it's like you have actors, so those who, there are people who have even their PhD in theater arts. So they come on stage, they took the role of some character, and then they studied that character thoroughly. Sometimes it takes months. They come on stage and they do exactly, they display exactly that person's attitudes, values, the character, the way they talk, the way they move, the way they express themselves. So this is human value. So we take up different bodies, and these bodies also they are encapsulated with different type of values, different type of characteristic features, social, emotional, whatever. So this is the nature of human condition. We have our own way of displaying our values. And so when the Lord comes, it doesn't only come to show how powerful He is, but because He's taking up the role of Lila Purushottama. He comes to perform some Lila. So He's not acting, sometimes He acts like an ordinary human being. Like, does the Lord really need to marry? No. Does He need to be a brahmachari? No. Does He need to go to school? No. Does He need a mother, a father, a community of, friends, family? No. But He acts like an ordinary human being who needs all of these infrastructures to sustain their lives. So here, in this very text, Lord Krishna, although he had the power to just cross Jarasandha, he doesn't even need to cross Jarasandha. Just by thinking Jarasandha should leave his body, Jarasandha will leave the body. Balaram used just a blade of grass to sever someone's head. But look, does he really need to fight with Jarasandha in the first place? No. Why? He did that as part of his lila. And so, sometimes people get confused, the non-devotees, they get confused about Krishna's very activities. I remember there was one country in Europe, I don't know whether it was in Poland or someplace. There were these nuns, Catholic nuns, who took devotees to court. Because they said that these devotees are misleading the public. They say that this is their God, Krishna. This is what Krishna does. He has a bunch of girlfriends. He plays with them in the night. And they are propagating this whole philosophy that this is the Supreme Personality of God. The court should stop these people from misleading the public. So during the final judgment, there was arguments back and forth here and there, and so the devotee, the lawyer who was representing ISKCON, representing the devotees, he has studied the Christian tradition very thoroughly, and he brought one thing after the other, to make arguments here and there, and the judge just dismissed the case, he threw out the case. So no one can stop Krishna. He may allow someone to do anything, even to attack his devotee, but those are very circumstantial. And so Jarasandha is a very powerful Kshatriya. But then Krishna defeated him 17 times. But Krishna allowed himself to be defeated by Jarasandha on the 18th time. And so the import of that is, at least he wants to display the fact that he's a human being. He can be defeated. It's full of frailties. Someone, all these wrestlers, Muhammad Ali or this person or that person, they fought. They are big heroes. They fought, but someone defeated them one day. They didn't win all of their bouts, all of their fights. Someone they never expected came to knock them out in the ring. This is human condition. So, because Krishna is playing the role of a human being, to add the spice to it, to add the human spice to his lila, all right, Jarasandha defeat me this time. Even run away from the battlefield. Imagine the supreme person of God running away from the battlefield. So when ordinary people, they hear about this Krishna's pastimes, Krishna playing with the gopis, and Krishna marrying 17,108 wives, they say, what? This is the God you're worshipping? And you say he's God? He's enjoying like us? And you say he's God? So it could be very difficult for non-devotees, those who have not accumulated sufficient pious credit, to appreciate Krishna consciousness. It is very difficult. In his, according to Lord Brahma, the cowhead boys who have been running around with Krishna, some will climb on Krishna's shoulder, Krishna will carry them, some will sleep on Krishna's laps. Lord Brahma said, to attain that position of those cowhead boys, you have to accumulate heaps and heaps of pious merit, pious credit. That's why, for one to come to this level of even chanting Krishna's names or worshipping Krishna, or worshipping Radha and Krishna for that matter, no, it's very difficult. There are people who worship Krishna, even in South India, there are masters that worship Krishna. But Radha and Krishna is a little bit rare. And this was the mercy, or this is the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Madhurya Rasa. And so, Krishna, he has different pastimes. He comes at Ramachandra to set record straight as a leader, as a Raja Rishi. But in Kali Yuga, everybody is literally like a Sudra. So we are not Raja Rishis. We can't adopt that system of the Treta Yuga in our management program, in our leadership programs. Sometimes it's so easy to pick something from the Vedic literature, but then we undermine the very proper concept of Disakala Patra. And so we take something from that was dominant in Treta Yuga or in Kali Yuga or in Satya Yuga to try to implement that system in Kali Yuga. It will not work. Because in Kali Yuga we have very short lifespan. We are easily agitated by the least poking, the least provocation. We get agitated. Kali Yuga, we are all Sudras, Kalu Sudras. So, one may read the Vedic literature and will want to implement the principles of the Vedic literature, but then the Vedic literature also is there for people, the principles are for people in different ages. Just like in Kali Yuga, the process of realizing Krishna, process of worship, is to chant Krishna's names. The temple worship or the deity service that we do is to facilitate our purification to be able to at least come to that level of ruchi when we're chanting the holy names. But the prescribed process, the prescribed Yuga Dharma is chanting Krishna's names. And so, the spirit of fighting is there in Krishna. And that is why the jiva, the embodied soul, displays that fighting mood. Krishna says we are all his part and parcel, so we do have these qualities, but in a minuscule, on a minuscule level, minuscule scale. Where Krishna has any of these qualities in full. So the fighting spirit is there. Otherwise, how do we come about this fighting spirit? If we are parts and parcels of Krishna, yeah, being in a fighting spirit is fine. But we're fighting for what? To set the record straight? To re-establish the principles of religion? Or for material expansionism? Expand our territory. I mean, like what is going on the planet? You go, one uh, country ruler goes to invade another country for what? To set record straight? To rectify the situation? Like the kings are requesting Krishna, rectify the situation. Hey, come and deal with Jerusalem. Rectify the situation for us. There is no rectification of any situation that the modern rulers are embarking on. It's just for expansionism, and nothing is really rectified. But when Krishna embarks on this same phenomena, fighting, he does so to rectify a situation, like in the fight with Jerusalem. And so the kings here are praying. It's important to really reflect on this, because sometimes we think, or we lost the notion that we don't need to pray to Krishna. Well, we find out these devotees. Arjuna prays to Krishna, Mother Kunti prays to Krishna, even the pure devotees, Prabhupada prays to Krishna. I remember one time Prabhupada paid obeisance. I don't know what city that was in America. He paid obeisance and then he remained there for a little while beyond the normal time. So when he got up, one of the devotees asked Prabhupada, why you paid obeisance? You stayed there for so long. Americans are always very inquisitive. Any little things they will ask. Prabhupada said, I'm praying to Krishna rather that I may not fall into mine. So Prabhupada prays. The kings here, they are praying for protection. We're vulnerable. We are marginal. And so that makes us vulnerable in the material world because we are marginal. So it makes us vulnerable. Either we go up, we take shelter, complete shelter of the Antaranga Shakti, or we take full shelter of the Bahiranga Shakti. So we keep drifting. Drifting is not something strange, because our nature is that of drifting. Going this way, going that way, taking complete shelter of the devotional energy, or we get clouded with doubts, and so we begin to perhaps move back. And therefore, when we do have challenges, like the kings, they have challenges, they pray to the Lord. When we have challenges, we should not hesitate to pray to the Lord. In the Bhagavatam, there's so many prayers. Even Lord Brahma, he prays. The pure devotees, they're praying to be focused on Krishna, so to speak. Yeah, so there's no harm in praying to the Lord. Therefore, Lord Krishna even gives the, overt statement, karma sarva karma va, moksha karma dharati. Whether you're full of, you don't have any material diseases and karma, or sarva karma, you're full of material desire. Krishna says, come on, come to me. It's better to take shelter of Krishna, to bear Krishna, than going to the demigods. Because the demigods also get their resources from Krishna. And you can have direct contact with Krishna, you can bear Krishna directly. Why go to the demigods? It doesn't make any sense. If you are familiar with the governor of Illinois, why go through some local government councilor? You have access to his house, you're familiar with his family, he's your friend. Why go through, the local government councilor for your needs? Because it's the governor who ultimately will release the the funds, who gave the permission, who gave the authority. So in the universe also it's like that. The demigods, they procure their resources ultimately from Krishna. And so the intelligent person takes shelter of Krishna, worships Krishna. And whatever his problem or her problem may be, he prays to Krishna. Like the kings here are praying to Krishna, they feel threatened by Jarasandha's attitude. So they pray to Krishna. We should not, uh, we should not feel otherwise to pray to Krishna. I remember when I was doing my research, my doctoral research, even if I want to read the book, especially the course we were doing on quantitative reasoning and analysis, statistics, PhD level statistics, it was so difficult. So if I want to read even the textbooks, I'll pray to Krishna. Hey, Krishna, I don't know anything here. Please help me. So, and sometimes you hear devotees are complaining this, complaining that. I can't concentrate on my japa. Pray to Krishna. Acknowledge that we have deficiency and pray to the Lord for assistance. These kings, they are surrendered souls to Krishna. So they are showing us by their own practical example that when we're in difficulty, we should call on Krishna for help. Any comments or questions?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much for your class. And you know, I guess to summarize the point you were stressing in today's discussion was, praying to Krishna amidst problems, and from an academic perspective, in an organization and especially spiritual organizations, we lot of time notice that instead of dealing with problems, and we sometimes ignore problems, and instead of dealing with social issues, we just keep ignoring them, praying to Krishna. Sometimes we have to attack, have a warrior kind of a mentality, solve the problem. So I was wondering if you can talk about that.
Okay. I mean, thank you. So I got a letter, a message from one devotee, one female devotee from the manor, and she has some health challenges. And she was mentioning that she wants to go back to her country, but she's afraid of going back because this situation, the challenge is coming from her home country. So this situation and that situation. I said, so my response to her was, see, if you have a challenge, don't just ignore the problem. Confront it. Deal with it. Depend on Krishna. Pray to Krishna. But deal with the problem. If it is a health problem, meet a specialist to address it. You don't sit back and see, I can align with this. I have heard people say, just have faith in Krishna. This is faithlessness. You don't have faith in Krishna, no? Yes, I have faith in Krishna, but I also have to make my plans. Papa said, make your plans and hang it on Krishna like a garland. So if we have a problem and we're ignoring it, we're just sitting on it, we are sitting on a time bomb. And we should not blame Krishna when there is a devastation. Because Krishna has given us big brains. For what? To solve problems, to address problems. Our big brains are meant for problem solving orientation. So we can't take the chance to say we sit on a problem. If a Prabhupada even expressed this very point that when we have a problem, especially health challenges, we should confront it. If you have a debt, you have to deal with it. So yes, we can't take We can't use Krishna as a smoke screen or a facade not to address problems. It is completely counterproductive to our devotional acceleration because it's like somebody has a problem, it takes some intoxication to go to sleep to avoid the problem. But when he wakes up, after the effect of the intoxication, when he wakes up or she wakes up, the problem is still there waiting for you. So, yes, we should address challenges. We should address problems. We should seek for professional help. One of the things I've observed over the years is also that our devotees, some of our devotees, take the role of everything. As soon as some of us stay in the movement, chant Hare Krishna for maybe 10 years, we think we know everything. We become like, we give counseling for psychological problems. We give counseling for brain problems. We give counseling for what do you call it? For all problems, all medical problems. We cannot be jack of all trades. People have problems. We should suggest to them to meet specialists. They have medical problems. We should advise them to seek help from the doctors. That will save us a lot. Of course, I've also seen some devotees who deny medical services. Unfortunately, I've seen that. They never go to meet a doctor. They just believe that they chant Hare Krishna and fast and they'll be all right. Good faith. Good for you. But for me, I advise people, Papa said utility is the principle. So skills are there. People have skill sets. We could tap into that and deal with our problems so that we move on with our services. Yeah. Does it make sense?
Yes, it resonates. Yes, Maharaj. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, you have some questions?
Krishna Maharaj. And thank you so much for your wonderful class. Um, like you said, we have 4 defects. We commit mistakes. Our desires has to be purified, and but we come to Krishna and we try to become Krishna conscious. In the beginning, we become very enthusiastic, but slowly our enthusiasm goes like that. We see that we have many faults, many defects. Like this messenger, they approached to the kings through the messenger. They approached Lord Krishna, and Krishna reciprocated. So, understanding our situation that we have many faults, many defects, but still we are struggling to be Krishna consciousness. So, how, in your experience, how you overcome all this and how it can help us in our spiritual journey?
Yeah, thank you. What's your name, Prabhu?
You said my name, Shubhakrit.
So, yeah, we have defaults, we have defects, we have so much of material inabilities. And these things, they also checkmate us from making rapid progress. And the other point you mentioned, yeah, in the beginning, we're very enthusiastic, we're so fired up. But then with time, our enthusiasm begins to wane. Uh, so, one of the things about the enthusiasm is that we can really revamp our enthusiasm in Krishna consciousness. And in Bhakti Swami, he used this word, rejoining Krishna consciousness. Rejoining Krishna consciousness. We think about those things we were doing in the beginning when we joined. We woke up early in the morning to chant before Mangarati. We go to bed very early because we're anticipating we have to wake up at 3 o'clock. We chant around before we go out for work or go to school. I remember when I met the devotees, and I started chanting. So I was chanting 16 rounds. I chant 16 rounds in the morning. 8 o'clock, I'm going to work. So I chant 16 rounds in the morning, go to work. I come back. I lock up myself in my apartment, chant another 16 rounds, go to sleep. So, but then, my friends, because I was working, and a number of my friends were prosecutors and police guys and lawyers. And so we used to go out during the weekends, especially during the weekends, we used to go out for fun. And so when I encountered the devotees and started chanting, so all of my outings, they were curtailed. I was not able to go out with my friends. And they became, they came on my case, They became very angry. So when we understand that these other things that we were doing before are not really favorable to the development of enthusiasm, even the type of association we are keeping is not favorable, then we just have to think about what we need to do to be able to curtail all of that. So when we reflect on when the early times we joined and the things we were doing that sustain our enthusiasm, we should go back to those things, those habits, those devotional positive habits. We should go back. Going to bed early, waking up early, chanting during the Brahma Muhurta hours, reading every day. I was in one of the temples here in Chicago. So during the Sunday class, I asked, who reads every day here? Nobody. The Prabhupada emphasized we should read his books. If we have to distribute the books, we have to read the books. Why do we need to read the books? Reading the books, reading the Bhagavad Gita is the same thing, the same benefit you have in going to the altar to do the puja. According to the Bhagavad Mahatmya, Lord Vishnu was discussing with Lakshmiji, and he said to Lakshmi, the Bhagavad Gita is not different from me. In other words, reading the Bhagavad Gita is using your intellect to worship Krishna. And we get the purification. And that purification facilitates enthusiasm in our Krishna consciousness. Coming to the programs. When we join Krishna consciousness, we don't miss the programs at all. Mangalati, Guru Puja, Tulsi Puja, deity greeting, class. We don't miss it. Now we stay on for some time and we think these things are not very important. The chanting is the only important thing. Yes, chanting is the most important thing. It's not the only important thing. Two things are there. Chanting is important or is the most important thing, but it is not the only important thing. There are other things we do that support the chanting for us to chant better, for us to chant better concentration, for us that there are other things we do that facilitate offenseless chanting. So the services we do, going to the altar, doing the puja, cleaning the temple, washing the dishes, cooking for the devotees, cooking for the deities. In fact, if someone is a devotee in a community and he or she does not have a service in the temple, that is a sign they will be dwindling in the enthusiasm in Krishna consciousness because they are not being connected with the Lord. Yes, he or she may be chanting every day, but gradually there's that type of subtle disconnect. And so the services we do, how can we say we love somebody and we don't serve them? We tell our spouse Hey, darling, I love you so much. But you forget the last time you bought sari for her. You forgot last time you bought sari for her. What type of love is that? You tell your child, I love you so much. When was the last time you sit your child and just have quality time with the child? You're too busy with work. Sometimes our devotees, they say, I'm too busy for service. We can use Krishna as a facade, as a smoke screen to emotionally abuse our family members, to emotionally abuse our spouse, to emotionally abuse our children. When the spouse and the kids are hurt, that stagnates or diminishes your enthusiasm and Krishna consciousness because you are committing violence. And violence breeds violence. Krishna consciousness is a science. Enthusiasm is a science. We can really revamp and maintain high enthusiasm in Krishna consciousness. Also, by having association with people, devotees, who are enthused in the Krishna consciousness. Because you go to associate with someone who is not enthused in Krishna consciousness, who is just uninterested in the approach, in services, in chanting, in everything else, devotional association, that is the person you hang out with. Gradually, your enthusiasm will be depleting because there is what we call in physics, there's something we call osmotic pressure. When two solutions are separated by a membrane, the strong solution draws the weaker solution. So when we associate with anyone physically, there's a lot of subtle activities, subtle connection that takes place. So you imbibe the other person's culture. If they are that, this is one of the reasons why we don't eat grains not that are not offered or not cooked by devotees. Because the person even cook the grains, their mentality goes into the food. It's part of the association you have with the person who cooks the food. You imbibe their consciousness. So when we hang out with each other, just like is mentioned in our own scriptures, that a moment of association with a pure devotee can really transform your whole life. Because just by being around a pure devotee, the energy, that loving devotional energy, the radiate impact on you. So in a similar way, when we associate with someone who is completely zero in their enthusiasm, their energy also impacts on us. So there are a lot of minor things we need to address, we need to deal with. That's why I quoted Bhakti Chitta Swami's statement of rejoining Krishna consciousness. Yeah, we can really revamp our enthusiasm. We should try to read every day. If even it's just one paragraph of Prabhupada's books, we should read every day. Or listen to Prabhupada's lecture. At least, if we do this every day just for 1 week, you see how the quality of your chanting will improve. Try it. Yeah. So we should think about these little things. Which, if you want our enthusiasm to be sustained, we should stop eating burger. We should eat, see, we may say, but this is all vegan. Is it offered to Krishna? Is it cooked by a devotee? Because the person who cooks the food, their energy goes into the grains. And you eat it. Yes, it is not meat, but you imbibe the radiation, that the energy of the cook. And that is why in the homes where the parents cook the food for everybody to eat in the family, divorce is very rare. Because every day they are rejoining, they are revamping the marriage, they are uh, restating their vows by eating the food that is prepared by one of the member of the family. You are reintegrating your vows of, you're resolemnizing your marriage vows of better for better or for worse, no divorce. But these days you find people, they don't cook. They go to eat in the restaurants. Who cooks the food in restaurants? Not your family member. You don't know what they are thinking when they are cooking. So devotees have to be a little bit meticulous in their deliberations, in their activities, and understand the implications of whatever they do. It might not be something directly detrimental to our spiritual life, but it adds up gradually to impede, to stagnate, or to deplete our enthusiasm in Krishna consciousness. Does it make some sense? All right, we have to stop there because it's already time. Srila Prabhupada, Srimad Bhagavatam, Thank you very much for coming. Haribo.